What's going on, guys? It's Tyler. Wanted to go over one of my favorite books today. Pretty big name, but one of the guys that have been around for a long time, talking about financial freedom and getting out of debt, and kind of putting yourself in the best position. Basically his old mantra is don't be in debt. Get rid of debt. Never have a credit card. Don't worry about credit. As long as you have cash, you can take care of anything. So I don't exactly agree in that aspect as far as credit and stuff goes, but huge name and basically again financial freedom, getting out of debt, getting yourself in a good position and getting out from under again the weight of credit cards and loans and things like that. So if you've never heard of Dave Ramsey, again, that's kind of his old mantra, is just kind of debt's evil, debt's the bad guy. But he has put out a bunch of books over the course of 30, 40 years, how long he's been doing this, basically on how to get out of debt, how to just basically got to get ahead of things, and kind of the whole mindset you need to kind of do everything. So the book I wanted to go over is called The Total Money Makeover. And sorry, Dave, this one got some water stains on it, but again, this is the book that kind of incorporates a lot of the ideas. Again, he has a couple different ones, but this is kind of the one that kind of encompasses everything. Pretty easy read. A lot of testimonials in there, a lot of just details going over kind of the simple ideas he kind of lays out. But I wanted to go over today just what they call the baby steps. First thing to go over is his mantra, and the whole debt. The whole process you do to get out of debt is called the debt snowball, the Dave Ramsey method, which is basically paying off your lowest debts first. Basically, itemize, the 10, 15, 20 things you have that you owe, from, highest balance to lowest balance, and start at the lowest, pay that off, whatever, you've been throwing at that one, pay it to the next one, pay it to the next one, pay it to the next one. So the best part about the debt snowball is it, the whole idea of the snowball is it gives you momentum. It grows kind of as it's rolling down the hill, and you pick up speed, and you get little wins along the way. Again, paying off your, $50, store credit card, and then paying off your $300 other store credit card, and then paying off your $1,000, normal credit card, and then paying off your $5,000 medical bill, then paying off your $20,000 student loan. So again, it grows and grows, and you have momentum along the way. There is also another, perspective on it, is called the debt avalanche, which again isn't, what Dave specifically recommends, but that's for someone that doesn't need those little wins along the way exactly. It is the more efficient way to go about it, but for the average person, the snowball is great, just because again, those little wins kind of keep people on board, and it's a grind. When you're paying off a bunch of debt and stuff, it really it is tough and kind of weighs on you. So the snowball is great because it keeps people on board. You get those little wins along the way, and it kind of keeps you going. The avalanche is sort of the same idea, but you pay off your highest interest rates first. So again, something you can look at that technically is a more efficient way to get rid of your debt. You end up paying less in the long run, but again, the snowball for the average person is kind of the tried and true method that kind of keeps more people on board with it. So the first thing Dave recommends, and again, I don't exactly agree, but he would say cut off any other stuff that you're doing. If you're donating to retirement, if you have again other kind of things that you've been kind of contributing to that aren't directly towards your debts, stop all that. So you're basically trying to get down to the most bare bones, 100%, beans and rice, as he would say, or ramen noodles, or basically the college diet, getting down to absolutely as cheap as you can live, is the first step. Making a super strict budget, cutting off all the other contributions and other things that you've been messing around with, and just so you have the most amount of money every single month available to kind of chip away at these things. So that's the first step. Just setting up a budget, which in and of itself, obviously not a lot of people are great with doing, but that's what you want to do, is basically cut off all the other stuff, stop all the bleeds, and then you can kind of focus, your time as far as paying off your debts. And I'd call that baby step, half or 0.5 or something. So baby step 1, as he lays out, is saving $1,000 emergency fund. So this is specifically just for, the car needs an inspection and you need to throw $500 at the brakes, or medical bill comes up, or whatever. So obviously isn't going to account for the giant, glaring, huge things that come up. But it should kind of mitigate the little things that come up, month to month, week to week, that might, make you resort back to your credit card or something. So you want to have $1,000 in there, is what he recommends. If, again, having a little extra, maybe $2,000 or $3,000. Again, if you tend to have the bigger things come up, again, it probably is fairly reasonable. The biggest thing, and especially for the people that this is kind of targeted to, are the people that don't really have any money and are kind of in the cycle of using credit for everything, and don't have the cash to get ahead of everything. So $1,000 is, for the average person, a fine place to start. So that's baby step 1. Baby step 2 is the debt snowball. So you're going to itemize all your debts, everything, the biggest to smallest, excluding your mortgage. Your mortgage is kind of held on a kind of different level than all the rest of it. But student loans, auto loans, credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, whatever else, itemize from highest to lowest. Start at the bottom, your $50, $100, $200 credit card, and work on that first. Put everything on auto pay your bare minimums, just so you can chip away at these, the bottom to the top as fast as you can. So again, like we talked about, you got $200 left over in the budget, throw it at your smallest account. Once you have that, you're going to roll it on to the next one. Maybe you're paying $25 minimum payment on, your next smallest bill. So you have the $200 you were throwing at the smallest, and now the extra $25, so you're throwing $225. You pay that one off. You're paying a $50 minimum on the next one, so you have $275 you're throwing at that one. So that's the whole snowball effect. You're compounding as you kind of pay things off, that extra you were throwing at it onto the next one. So again, Dave would really want you to focus on living as frugally as you possibly can during this time, because it does weigh on you having to throw everything you can at these bills every month. So you can kind of take it as easy or as slow or as hardcore as you want, but to get it done quickly, to get it done efficiently, to get to keep yourself moving, it does pay to maybe give yourself 6 months, a year of just living super frugally, not going out, living on the basics, maybe not, cutting out drinking, not buying any beer or wine for 6 months, probably help you lose some weight too. But it just kind of keeps the mindset going. If you're going all in, taking care of this stuff, it'll go surprisingly quick. I mean, you'll find money you didn't know you had. You can sell stuff online. You can, do whatever. Start making furniture in the basement, making a little bit of profit. Doing YouTube videos, maybe make you some money, down the road. But find anything you can do, extra side jobs to chip away at this money as fast as you can. And this is going to be the most in-depth part of the process, and the most arduous, and the part where most people are going to want to quit. But once you start seeing, you've chipped away, a third of your debt, half of your debt. You don't have any credit cards with any balances anymore. You just have your one big medical bill and a student loan and your mortgage. And once, you're in that mindset is, I don't have credit cards anymore. Obviously, it can really kind of get you going, and that's the whole purpose of the snowball. So once you get through that snowball, might have been 6 months, might have been 5 years, however long it takes you, however much debt you had, you feel great at that point. So his whole idea after that is you're going to start, saving money, for retirement, saving money for education, saving money for just investments, giving to charity, things like that. So the process that he would want you to go through, again, that's step 1 of the emergency fund, step 2 of the snowball, step 3 would be to build up a little bit more of a emergency fund. So 6 months of expenses, which at that point, you don't have any debt besides your mortgage, 6 months of expenses probably isn't really that much. It might be $5,000-$6,000, depending on what your mortgage is and depending on what your utility bills are and whatever. So save 6 months of expenses. At that point, you've gotten baby step 3 down. Baby step 4, 5, and 6 are all kind of coexist at the same time. So 4 would start be throwing 15% of your income at retirement, which again, I would have not probably stopped contributing to like my 401k specifically. If you had multiple things, like you were doing a Roth IRA, you were also doing some individual investing, I could get on board with saying, slow those down and keep going with your 401k, or if you didn't have a 401k, keep going with your one Roth IRA or whatever it was. Again, Dave would say not be doing any of that while you're doing the Snowball. So, again, I get where his mindset is at. So 15% of your income towards your retirement is baby step 4. Baby step 5 is actually saving money for your children's education. So a college fund, I believe he says 10 or 15% of your income, or up to a set amount, whatever you're trying to do towards your kids' education. So you're basically setting up a new budget, of your monthly income, certain amount going to retirement, certain amount going to kids' savings. Obviously, the bills were first. So baby step 6 is, throwing the extra money at your mortgage. So $5,000 a month in income, you're getting, you have $2,000 a month in expenses. You're throwing 15% at retirement, say 15% at, your kids, college funds, and just, I'm not gonna do the math. Say you had $1,000 left over. So you have that $1,000 to just kind of chunk away your mortgage. That's what he would recommend. So, by the time you pay that mortgage off, you have a good amount in retirement. You'll probably have a good amount in, your kids' education. Again, you might, by the time you make it to, paying off your mortgage, you might have enough, totally, pay for your kids' student loans and everything. So say you don't need to contribute that anymore. You've still been contributing 15% towards retirement. You got your mortgage paid off. You probably at that point have a couple $1,000s extra every month. So really you could just start investing. You can start giving. That's kind of his baby step 7, is to just kind of live the dream, essentially. Keep investing, maybe start buying some real estate, throwing money into the stock market, more, risky stuff, not necessarily risky, but not just, putting in a 401k or an IRA or something. So again, that baby step 7, you're totally debt free. You've already been contributing to your retirement. You have a fully funded emergency fund, 6 to 12 months of expenses. You might have a $50,000 for your kids' education, student loans, whatever it might be, and you probably have some money left over every month because you don't have any other debts. So again, really at that point, the world's your oyster. You're better than 90%, probably 95% of the people in this country that are positive net worth. And you're probably, probably barely have to work at that point. You probably could be part-time, working, doing something you want to do. You can quit your job like 45, and just kind of, either, have one spouse staying at home, or both of you do self-employment. Or again, the whole point of getting to that baby step 7 is you are not responsible for a lot of things at that point. You can basically do whatever you want to do. You're comfortable, you're financially stable, you could go travel, you could go do whatever you want. And by the time you hit retirement age, or probably well before, you literally could just live on retirement income and your savings. So, I mean, really, that's kind of the gist of it. It's sounds easier than it is. Again, that baby step 2, the whole debt snowball is, it's tough. It obviously is that's why so many people are in debt. It's a cycle. But if you can follow these, and if you can hit it hard like he wants you to, I think he says gazelle-like intensity, you can get out of debt. You can start saving towards retirement and all this other stuff. Have extra money every month. Have a savings for your kids' student loans and education, or if you don't have any kids, you can have a ton of extra money every month. Pay off your mortgage, start investing in other stuff, real estate and stocks and bonds and whatever you want to do. Or just, go buy a farm and live comfortably on a retirement funds. At that point, you can retire early and not have any bills to worry about. So you could live on Social Security if it's still around by the time you retire, and $1,500 a month probably gets you by because you don't have any other stuff to worry about. So again, take it as you will. I would definitely recommend reading the book. Again, it's called The Total Money Makeover, Dave Ramsey. I'll have a link down below. Probably be an affiliate link. Again, if you want to buy it through that link, I would get a small portion, and the book's probably like $15, so maybe I'll get $1 off it. But it definitely is. Again, it's one of the biggest out there, and he has great ideas. Again, I don't agree, particularly with not having credit. He is totally against any debt, having credit, things like that. But if you follow that, you want to be totally debt-free, more power to you. If you don't want to ever worry about credit, good for you. I mean, again, if you can do everything in cash, you can get rid of all your debts, close every credit card, buy autos for cash, buy house for cash, you're going to be in great shape. So, again, take a look at the book. It's an easy read. It's a quick read. Maybe take you a few days if you really want to sit down and power through it. Or, a lot of people just, read up to the step they're in. They're only up to baby step 1, which is on page 15, and they don't read past that until they're there. Work on the baby step 2, the debt snowball, and you'll probably hold on to the book for 10 years before moving forward, and then kind of move on from there. So take it as you will, but great book. Again, you're never going to run into trouble if you follow those guidelines, and you're going to definitely going to put yourself in a good position to be financially free and a lot more comfortable as far as your finances go. So if you guys enjoyed this, if you like these type of videos, recommending financial stuff and investment stuff, let me know in a comment below if you have your favorite financial book or investment type book, or again, getting out of debt book, or way you like to go about it. Let me know in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe, and hope to talk to you guys soon.